Hey yo, welcome to the channel, guys. We're just running through a game that I found. It's been out for a little while, played it before, but I thought it'd be a great one to review for you. So, Warhammer 40K, Inquisitor Martyr. It's a pretty slick game. We'll go through some of the details, and if you're new to the channel, guys, what we do here is we try to review games and show you games that maybe you haven't seen before, maybe you have, maybe you want to check them out again. Just something to play when you're tired of one game or another and maybe want to jump into a new one. So with that said, let's kind of just pop into the whole spiel of what this game is and what I like and don't like. So I really enjoy how this game plays. I really enjoy the perk system on this game. It's a rewarding reason to level up and allow you to change your gameplay style up as you go through the game. So if you're playing a class that has summons, you're going to be looking at some of these perks that give you summon bonuses. It's just a cool level of the game for sure. You've got plenty of things to choose from in your skill tree. I kind of like the fact that the way they do their skill tree is that there are certain ones that are unlocked based on your class, but say for area effect, I actually had to do things that generated area of effect in order to get that skill tree unlocked so I could start putting points into it. So it's kind of like you don't have more than what you need. Like there are trees that I haven't unlocked yet because I rarely use those and I barely actually engage with what they require in order to unlock them fully. So I don't have to worry about looking at that tree because it's not unlocked, and honestly it's not how I play. The game has a pretty intriguing crafting system, so you can salvage items, you unlock blueprints as you play the game, find them on the ground, and you're able to craft items throughout that process. You can modify items, meaning you can add or re-roll, change stats to the item, that way it's better for your build or whatever the case may be. I found that really cool. You re-roll in that item for what you want, and each level of it is re-rollable, or you can re-roll all of them. Not every item's rerollable, but the majority of the ones you're going to find, you will have the ability to change those stats or even level them up if you want to. You can reroll the values, so if you know you got a bad value roll, you can mess with that. You can even forge items. What that means is you can add sockets to them because this game has little gems and stuff you can put into them to give items or weapons a different effect or an added bonus. The tech tree is a key to this. If you don't have these slots open on your tech tree, which you have to research to unlock, you can't do a lot of that. So the more you play, the more rewarded. So the more of that tech tree you can unlock, so you can start making your gear the way you want it to be. So you can also go to a lady who has like what they call inoculators, and you can change what they do. Health, damage, debuff, get rid of debuffs, things like that. So there's a lot of flexibility in the gear that you wear. Another really interesting thing is there's a lot of different ways to play the game. Whether you enjoy PvP, you can link up for 1v1s, 2v2s if you've got a buddy. There's another person that gives you these, just random missions that you can run. Gives you like 3 or 4 missions. You can choose your difficulties on those, which is really valuable. I like that a lot. But I really want to dig into my favorite thing is the special missions and the random missions you can do. You can just grab those at any time, throw tarot cards on them, make them more difficult, make them easier, however you want it to go. My favorite thing is Void Crusades. It really has a lot to it. So you've got this star map that you get that you can go into, and you're unlocking these little missions as you go. And what's really cool is you still get your tarot cards, which is another huge piece of being able to change the game up to be how you want it to be, the difficulty levels that you want it. But these missions that you get from the Void Crusades get really tough but offer great rewards, whether it be experience or loot. I've gotten some of the best loot from running these Void Crusades. So in this game, I've spent more time doing Void Crusades and just assignment missions than anything. To me, that's where your time will be spent, and it's never the same because you get to play these cards or use these little emblems to change how the matches will be. How difficult do you want it to be? You get to choose your difficulty, and I think with that, it's really, really cool because I don't want it too easy, but I don't want it too hard, and I get to control all of that. Now, the game isn't super buggy and doesn't have like a lot of like issues or hard things that you have to deal with. I'll admit some of the biggest problems I have with the Tech Adept is I can't really control my constructs. I don't get to tell them where to go. If I go off screen, they'll port to me, and then I can try to re-engage that way, because I've gotten a little bit of trouble because when fighting a boss, sometimes those guys will be fighting one thing and it'll be the smaller adds and the boss is just chewing me up. So that's one thing that doesn't always work out the best. There are also some bonuses you'll get on items that don't really have a good explanation, so you may have to actually pull up a wiki or a guide in order to tell you exactly what you're getting into or what that does, what that means, as to say. There's these Berserk points that you'll get, and I had no idea how to get them, what they did, and why they mattered. And once I researched it, it was actually a cool technique, a cool function within the game, but it wasn't really fitting to my playstyle at the same time. And the last thing I really want to cover is loot. This is a Void Crusade. We got 3 keys and some Imperium keys, and this is where I've been getting the best items for my character, for my build, that just help me continue to stay on top of stuff. I love this part. The Void Crusade is very difficult. It's time consuming, but at the end of each Void Crusade, I felt like I was very rewarded with the items that dropped. We got a lot of ancient items, which are just like, you know, legendaries, epics, rares, really hard to find, that, like I say, get to go into enhancing my build. And loot drops very regularly in this game, and you are able to change your loot out mid-mission if you want to. Which before you weren't able to do that, and it was one thing that I didn't like about the game, so I'm glad that was updated. But from what I've experienced, the game is done in a very special way. If you're a fan of lore or just seeing things through, the story will keep you engaged and has a lot of interesting information to go along with it. If you're somebody who just likes the hack and slash aspect of a game, you can jump in here and do just that. You just go around busting up mobs and searching for loot. If you like to grind out a build or a style that fits best for your character, it takes a little more intricacies into it, where you have to learn a style or how to best do it. This game gives you that. As opposed to Diablo, Torchlight, Path of Exile, and even Grim Dawn, I find that this game has a really good balance of stuff to do, interesting landmarks, and I'll take one thing back. The maps are replayed, redundant. They're not the absolute best, and some of them flat out suck. There are some where I will kind of fall through the map, or I'll get hung up on corners, or little things like that. But you know, it doesn't take from the game totally, but it is kind of like that aggravating moment in a game. I have been one shot in this game, so even though I'm level 65 and I feel like I'm very tough and I'm, you know, pumping out damage, the game will still challenge me even at lower levels. So I appreciate this game a lot. Now look, this was a really quick review because this game has a lot of depth and a lot to do within it. You've got multiple classes to choose from, and within those classes there are normally 3 different trees that you can go down to change up and be the playstyle that you want to be. I highly recommend, if you enjoy these ARPG hack and slash games like Path of Exile, Diablo, Torchlight, Grim Dawn, I mean the list goes on, that this is a game that you really do need to check out and watch a little bit more on if you would like to buy it. I got it on a Steam sale, and I'm really satisfied with the 25 bucks that I spent on this game at the time. It's full of everything that I enjoy as far as combat, loot, just the ever grind, the different ways to grind. Just the content in it is done very well. There are some drawbacks, but those aren't heavy enough to really pull me from playing the game. Every now and again, the game will crash. If I've got a certain map with certain tarot cards, it doesn't like that sometimes, and I'll have to choose something else. Every now and again, I'll get stuck on an edge and probably get exploded on by some stupid psyker in the corner. I don't know, those guys suck. You'd see when you play the game. And there are certain maps where it seems like I'll fall through the map and then my character will bloop right back up. But as a whole, the game's a lot of fun, and that doesn't happen all the time. Grab it, check it out. I'm sure you'll be quite excited, and you'll probably spend a good 30 or 40 hours in your first week of playing the game because it's quite addictive. I can only imagine how much time could be spent in this game and how much fun could be had in it. But that's all I've got to say about Warhammer. If you guys want to check it out, check it out. Drop some comments if you already know. Let me know what you like about the game and what you didn't like about the game. That's all we've got for the review today, guys. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.